Okay, so today we have something special for you. This is a Vietnamese bakelite magazine. This is one of the most rare AK magazines there is in the world. Of course, there's more. There's Russian prototypes and whatnot, but this is try to count it as mags actually released. And this is a mag from Vietnam. There are extremely few outside of Vietnam, and the price tag goes to match with it. Last time I got one of these, I didn't have a license for my real AK, so I sold it, and it funded my whole Vietnam trip. So that gives you an idea the value of these. It is based on the Russian bakelite magazines. This one is taped up with stickers, also from Vietnam, but this is the pattern they copied. And from what I understand, Russia sent their bakelite molds to Vietnam as aid. And this is not during the American Vietnam War. This is, I think, sometimes in the 90s. I've asked around with my Vietnamese friends and such. No one really knows for sure the date, but when you think it's during the 90s, they made these bakelite magazines. And how do you ID them, you may wonder. If we look at the Russian, for example, this one has a star, there's East Mash and whatnot, but the Vietnam has also a star with a circle around it and 11 in it, so it looks kind of like a Super Mario star. This one is missing part of one of the ones because it's so small, it's like a hair thin, so it's knocked off, but it's from factory 11. I think today it's called Z111. They updated it. There is a handful of these in America as well, but not many at all. The first documented one came by a veteran, I think from the Afghanistan war. It was taken from a rebel that had one of these in his vest. So how it ended up in Afghanistan is very strange too, as these were not exported out of Vietnam. So very, very rare to find them outside. And that was sold to another collector also for an insane amount. As I mentioned, the old one I had funded my Vietnam trip, and that first one that got sold was sold for twice that amount. So I considered by that sold mine cheaply. But yeah, I'm very excited to try it out. Sadly, the original spring is lost due for obvious reasons, but the original follower is here, and this is also original. Yeah, I'm very excited to try it out. Here we can see a comparison of the followers. Here's the Russian one, and here's the Vietnamese one. The Vietnamese one is very similar to a Chinese one. This is a Chinese flat back. It has a cutout here, but otherwise the shape is very similar, which is interesting. Vietnam got a lot of Chinese mags aided during the Vietnam War, so that makes sense. This is how a Vietnamese, no, that's a Yugo. Okay. This is how a Chinese magazine looks. It has no spine as other mags has. That's how you can tell them apart. So that's interesting. The Vietnamese one has the same kind of follower. Very similar, at least. They have an unopened spam can with Chinese ammo.
That is awesome.
1967. So this is possibly the same ammo they shipped during the Vietnam War. So yeah, let's try and open it. It's the first time I open a spam can. Oh, it's so fucking heavy. But let's dig in. Okay, let's try it out. You may wonder what kind of outfit I'm wearing today. This is just my vacation clothes from Vietnam. Added with my own homemade tactical vest with vintage materials. I've tried to look on YouTube how to open this. I hope I will do it right. Crap. We'll be right back after this commercial.
20 minutes later. 6 hours later.
MacGyver would have used a huge pine cone.
Eventually.
Yeah, and here we can see 1967. So this is 57 years old ammo. I'm very excited. And we're back from the commercial break. Almost feels like the opening scene of Lord of War. The Vietnamese Bakelite magazine feels slightly more fragile than the Russian, I must say. And these weren't that popular in the Vietnamese army either, or military, because they were a bit brittle, if I understand it right. So it's not that common you see it on pictures either. I have a few pictures where you can see it, but they did prefer the steel mags. So here's 30 rounds. So let's load it up in the gun and shoot. Very snug fit. Yeah, circle's good this far. Let's see if it catches up with a little faster rate. Yeah.
Works like
But
a charm.
bye bye,